with this. All right. Looks like we are live with this little test for the live training course we get in. Looks like for a couple things that we've got going on here. First of all, welcome to session 1 of SiteSpark. This is the one that we're going to go through and set everything up. The biggest thing that we've got is I'm going to play around with StreamYard today. See, we got everything up. We got a bunch of people in the you guys are actually in the green room today, so looks like we may have either added the wrong link or set this up. If you go in, and I'm going to show you guys where this is at in a second. If you're in the green room right now, I know there's other people trying to get in and things like that. You've got access to watch it on the live stream as well, which I think might be the best way to do it, because obviously we're not going to just throw a bunch of folks up into the training as we get going. And the biggest thing here for what we're covering today is like how you can use Lovable and AI, to sell websites, local businesses, from anywhere from, if you're brand new, use as a case study, to $500 to $1,500, $1,000, $2,000, or even more. But realistically, if you're just getting started, this is a really great spot to get in at, because we sold a website for like 5 or 7 pages last week for $1,800. I actually had almost no interaction with it. The team did, negotiated it and got it done. And it's just a simple 5-page guide website. It's an add-on for a client that we've got, and it'll be simple and easy to do as well. These are very easy things to sell when you have the right leads, the right people to talk to. People are always interested in like what you can do for them to help them upgrade and get going. We've got a little presentation that we'll walk through before you jump in. But as we get going, just do me a favor. If you're on here, I want to make sure we're using the StreamYard appropriately. I'm still kind of learning it and getting going. Can you guys leave a comment in here? I know. Let me know if you guys can leave a comment. If you're in the green room, I got like a bunch of you. Got Owen, Steve, Eric, Pat, Rex, other Steve, whoever Skulk is. I remember talking to you, Pat, Vinay, Sean, Janice. You made it. Amelia, Lou. I've only got like 15 people I could put in this green room. So it looks like we may have given you guys a link. I thought it was to register, but maybe it put you guys in the background. Go ahead. I got a private chat here. Okay, cool. So you see 2 of me. Yeah. So what you're seeing, if you are in the green room, if you're on you're not on the live stream, you might want to jump over to YouTube, because what's happening is we're streaming it for desktop and mobile. This is the version that I see from there. So hey Pat, hey Louie, Amelia. How many hoodies do I own? I own. That's great. I actually own one for every day of the week. These are super comfortable and I wear them. Although right now it is actually getting a little warm in my office. So after this, I'm going to actually change back to a t-shirt from there. And then I can see you guys are in the chat. So that's cool. So you guys are in the studio. For those folks that haven't been able to make it, or if you're watching, you want to jump over to YouTube. I'll show you guys that here in a second. And then looks like Dana says StreamYard is full. From there. So Dana, thanks for watching us over on YouTube. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually, when I run these things, hold on, let me just stop my fan from moving. When I run these things, I'll probably stop doing the StreamYard thing. We'll figure out kind of how that works. But obviously I'm not going to be pulling you guys up. So if you're on here and you don't want to see 2 of me, because you see the mobile version that's being posted as well, you can hop over to YouTube, and let me show you guys how to find that as we get in. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and put that up on the stage. You guys should still be able to hear me as we get going. All right. So if you're in the training and you're live with us right now today, so what you can do is go in and you can go and click on Spark Session 1 right here, right there in the Facebook group, and that will allow you to go straight to the calendar, which actually has a StreamYard link. But if you're in the training, which is in the classroom, and some of you guys we had to add quickly, we'll continue populating this as we do the live version of this course for everybody. But just go to the YouTube link, watch it here. Looks like the way that this was set up for everybody. If you just go to the YouTube link, and actually I'll put this in the private comments for everybody, for you guys. Where's the private chat? That's probably the best place to go. Barb says, "Yep, probably better if you guys are on YouTube. That way you can only see the version that works for you." But again, we're testing this out. We're trying the system, so I appreciate you guys with your patience on that as we get going. So that's gonna be where it's at. This is where the training is. I've already told my staff, and all of you should have been added. And actually, I've got confirmation that you were added. If you go in to your email and look for a school email, it will unlock the classroom for you. If you have any issues with that, just go ahead and just DM me or let my staff know, and we'll go through that and make sure that you have everything that you need from there. So it looks like a bunch of you guys are jumping off and you're going to the live stream. So I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds to jump onto that as we get going. So let me go ahead and pull up today's training PDF from there to walk you through, and pull it up as we get in. All right. There we go. So you should be able to see this as we go in. Again, we are doing this. Okay. This is one of those things where a lot of people talk about how you can do things and what you should be doing. These are things that we are doing inside of our business. Okay. I think that, not to say that, hide those. Hold on a second. No, icon only. Okay. I would say there are folks that aren't out there actually selling and doing things. Usually the timing of a lot of these things that you guys see come in from what's working right now in our business. Looks like Dana actually says, I purchased and get access email. So Dana, I think I actually just added you about 5 minutes before the call. I happened to catch that. So go ahead and check. But if not, email me after this. You guys have access, and obviously these will be replayed as well. Okay, cool. And then obviously Dana says the StreamYard side is full. All right, so a couple minutes past the top of the hour. Let's go ahead and dive into this, and really, we'll do over the shoulder. Rex actually said he doesn't either. Rex, I actually added you literally like 2 minutes for the call. So you as you jumped on here, you should have seen it. Okay. I was trying to clean that up as we went in. All right. And then, yep, go ahead. Barb says she got in. I just let Barb in as well. So you guys are helping each other out, which is great from there. I just got to move over. How do I put this there? All right, just put me back on the screen. So there you go. So a couple of things for you guys as you get in. This is stuff that actually works. This is very beginner friendly. Obviously, we do pretty well in my marketing agency. This is also, scalable. This is also for your intermediate and advanced agencies. But knowing that a lot of folks are going to come to this group and they're going to come to this YouTube channel, are going to go through it, and maybe you haven't started yet, or maybe you don't have a client yet. Actually, if you're on the stream or if you're watching this, couple things. If you want to comment, I think you need to be subscribed to the channel. So hit the subscribe button from there. You don't have to like the video, but like the video if you don't mind doing that. But if you click subscribe, you should be able to comment live while we're on this. I think it's limited to only folks that are subscribers of the channel. Get rid of any spam comments and things like that. But let me know in the comments in the chat, how many clients you have, or how many website clients you have. You can put 1, you can put 0, you can put 10, whatever you have. It's funny because you always go back, and I've done this for 18 years now. The folks that we actually have or host, we've got dozens of folks that we've built or hosted websites over the year. But when you really go back and you take an index and a Rolodex of what you've done over the past couple of years, and if you're brand new, just getting started, do this every year or so. Take inventory, and you might be surprised of how successful you actually were. But we tend to look very, what have I done? What have you done for me lately? Or what have I done the last week or month or quarter? So celebrate those successes that you've had, but don't forget, as you're looking at the new one and what's next in your path, what you've already accomplished in your agency. And if you are brand new, this Site Spark training is going to be great for you, because we're going to show you how to build a high converting small business website using AI. And over the last year, not even 18 months, over the last year from when we're actually recording this, of March of 2026, the end of Q1, right? AI has taken some huge leaps and jumps, and the company that we're going to use is Lovable.ai. Actually, I think it's Lovable.dev. Is actually what their website is. It's an AI based website and app builder. Okay. Um, there are alternatives out there. There's Base 44, there's Replit, there's a couple other ones that I have not used or even seen. Pick the one that works best for you. And if you're wondering, do I endorse Lovable as like the only one that's out there that I use? No, but it's the one that I use personally that I got familiar with. And I don't see the reason or need to go anywhere and switch. So if you guys use another platform, you can put it in the comments, let everybody else know what you're using. Um, I'm not going to be like, promoting this as like a big affiliate promotion or anything like that. This is just what I use. So if you want access to our stuff, you've got to have that account. We've been able to sell websites I've been doing it since 2008. So what's that, like almost 18 years? It's 17 years now. I'm going to be doing marketing for 18. We've been working with small businesses since the beginning. When it came to actually working with small businesses and doing something of value to them, the website's one of the biggest key factors. It always will be a great asset to have in your toolbox as something you can offer to a business. So a lot of you I can see here have 0 or 2 or very new to an agency, second or two clients. Look, you got a handful of clients. You are in the right spot with this. You are actually in the right spot with building websites. I wish I had this. I know more about WordPress and the back end of WordPress than I'd like to know. And I don't want you to have to know any of that. Somebody actually commented about like, well, how does WordPress versus Lovable and SEO and all that stuff compare? And in the school group, I put a link to how to properly optimize a Lovable site. We're not going to get into that today. We're going to get into the basics to make you comfortable with actually building your website, figuring out how to make it for yourself, and then how to connect the domain so you're actually up and running and hosting. Very, very simple from there. If you want to get into the more technical side of it, I've got the link in the group chat from there. And if you want, ask me or DM me and I'll put it in the training as well. But here's the deal. If you're just getting started and you have one website, which is your own, you don't need to worry about all the other stuff that's out there. No one is going to find your business through SEO in your first 6 months or a year. Okay. That is a long-term project. So what you should be focusing on is getting clients. Think about that. Everybody tells you, oh, you got to do this. Your website has to do this. Your website has to rank. Look, realistically, most business owners aren't going to go Google your name to figure out if you have a website that ranks super high. What they're going to do is they're going to have a conversation with you. You're going to show them some examples of what their website could look like, and they're going to say yes or no. It's as simple as that. Don't overcomplicate things that you don't need to overcomplicate. Back when I was flying jets, the biggest thing was we used to come with all these great game plans of like, we're going to do all this and you're going to go high, we're going to go low, we're going to split. And it's like, well, this game plan is so complex that if one aspect of it breaks, the whole thing falls apart, or I can't keep up mentally with what's going to happen with all the variables. But a simple game plan, build a website, have a conversation with a business owner, show them what their website could look like and ask for the sale. That simple game plan is almost foolproof because you're on a linear path of where you're going to go. Same thing when we were flying jets. Simple game plan that everybody knows that standardized works almost every single time. And if something falls or falters, you already can go to the next step. So when it comes to working local businesses and it comes to SEO and do I need Lovable versus WordPress or what are we doing? Just build them something that looks nice, that helps convert. That's all you need to do to get started. You can worry about all the advanced stuff later. Okay. You can worry about all the technical SEO. Do we still use WordPress for our websites? Yes, absolutely. My bigger clients, the ones last year that we charged $35,000, $50,000 for and built out 100+ page website that took 3 months to build and now are ranking and structured and are doing long-term SEO and AI SEO and ads. Yes. Do you need to do that as an agency that has 0 2, 5, maybe 10 clients and you're just getting started, no, it's going to be too complicated and it's going to be way over your head. It's over my head. I actually have contractors that we brought in. So if you are brand new, just starting out, let's talk about how to go in. Let me pull this back up on the screen here. Put myself in the lower corner here for you guys. Okay. And how to go in and build a high converting small business website using AI to get them into $500 to $2,000 agency type projects. This is a great foot in the door. Okay. So let's talk about how to build those small business websites using AI. Okay. This is not a theory session. We are actually going to log in and build a couple websites live. I'm going to show you how to grab them from us, and they're going to be in the members area as well. Actually, the link is already in the members area for you. But I want to talk a little bit about the massive opportunity that's sitting there. Okay, we will dive into Lovable. You'll see my account, and I'll actually help you pre-build your own agency website, and I'll teach you how to run the prompts. Look, don't let marketers make things seem like they're more difficult than they are. That's what marketers are good at, making it seem like you've got to buy it from them. Otherwise, you'll never be successful. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. I actually built a week and a half ago, just under 2 weeks. So I think it's this Friday, it'll be 2 weeks. So about a week and a half ago, I built like a 20-page website with about 20 minutes worth of effort. I'm going to show you that website. Now, I did some research. I talked to the Zoom. I'll tell you guys how I did it when I show it to you, but I'm rebuilding my agency website. It's not done. It's not perfect yet, but the template is there for us. The first thing that you want to do when you want to get started in going through this is you want to identify bad business websites. Okay. That's going to be the biggest thing as we go in. Okay. You want to identify to spot the warning signals. Okay. Understand why they potentially lose customers. I'm going to help you guys rebuild one live using AI, and then we're going to help you build your agency site as well. One of the biggest things for me that I noticed when I lived outside the US for about 3 years was a lot of folks that are outside the US have a Facebook page and they treat that as their company website. The opportunity for you there globally is huge, because if they're using Facebook as their main company website, you can go out there and offer them a website for $500 to $1,000 and then bring them on board as a client. Okay. A lot of small business websites are just broken revenue engines. Okay. In a lot of cases, the sites were built years ago. Maybe they're not mobile friendly. I mean, a lot of people don't even talk about that anymore. It's just assumed, but a lot of those businesses are not mobile friendly. They were definitely built before AI search, and they don't pay attention to some of the principles they need to when setting up their website for the first time. They load slow. Maybe they're poor on mobile. They don't have the right structure, calls to action, things like that. You can actually talk to AI now and ask AI inside of Lovable, be like, hey, look at my site. Give me examples, just like you were talking to ChatGPT. That's how far it's come in the last quarter to 6 months, where it actually will help you structure the site a little bit better. And then these are big things: the missing trust signals, reviews, credentials, if you can put social proof on that site as well. Now, what happens to a lot of sites, especially when owners have relatives or friends, that was like 10 years ago. But when they're building the websites on their own, or they're using some of those tools that are out there that have been around that aren't AI first, sometimes they're cluttered. The business owner isn't a design individual. They're not a marketer, not a business owner, right? Their websites are slow. They don't have the right call to action, or they're just stock photos. Well, this costs the business because they're not going to get the phone calls, the clicks. They might not even show up because they're not properly built or structured. And a lot of the opportunity here for you is that the website owner, the business owner, doesn't really know. They just think their website's there. It's good to go. Oh, we have a website. We're good. Okay. That's one of the biggest things that a lot of website owners overlook from there, and they miss that huge, right? And then yes, the recording has started. It's on the stream, Pat, so don't worry about it. We are recording it. We're actually live streaming this to YouTube right now. All right. You guys will get the replay like immediately after this training, which would be really cool. Okay. When talking to a business owner, and that's what the revision app was for, is to start the conversation. I know most of you that grab this program, grab that as well. It's one of the highest converting offers that we've had as an OTO in a long time. So that is going to be your opening as you get in. And that's going to be what tomorrow's training call is. If you're wondering about pricing and how we actually price these websites, a lot of you mentioned that you have a handful or have not closed your first client yet. One of the biggest ways to be successful when it comes to getting started as an agency for the first time is build your own social proof. Build a Rolodex of clients. For my first 3 to 5 clients, I was willing to do a website for $250 to $750. Okay. That was back in 2008. So $500 today is not far-fetched. If a business owner is not willing to invest $499, $497, $500, whatever that is, right? However you price it, I just say it's $500 flat at this point, or say $499. If they're not willing to invest that in their business, why would you continue on with them? They don't see the value in you, in the website for their business. They don't see the ability to upgrade their website, something that's valuable to them. Just move on to the next person. But these are some easy packages that you can use to set up a starter website, right? This is just a quick, clean refresh, or maybe they don't have one. Clean, modern redesign, right? Strong call to action, and it's mobile optimized. This is where you build a 3 to 5 page website for when we were teaching Leadsley, like the tire repair company. That was a great one that was out there. Now, when you want to get into selling websites for $1,500 to $2,000, right? That's your 5 to 7, 5 to 10 page type website. That is a full conversion build type website. You want to make sure that some of those trust signals are on there. Okay. We'll talk about doing the back end thing where you tie in Reviewly and things like that. From there, Google integration. Maybe you're optimizing their Google business profile. Make sure they got the categories and they've got all their times and their categories, their FAQs in there as well. And then you do some SEO basics. Okay. Do not go overboard with building out a blog by building out all these additional pages. In the training inside of the school group, I gave you some examples of what you do. You want to prevent scope creep early. You set is a 5 or 7 page website, the name, the pages, make sure that you have what you've got and go from there. Or your premium website. This is where you can charge 5 to 10 to even $20,000 or more. You might be getting outside the scope of AI just a little bit, but this is where you're doing their website and or a complete digital presence overhaul. You're doing strategy, priority support from there. This is for more our intermediate to advanced folks. But if you are brand new, where do I want you to stay within the window? Your starter to standard package from there. What you could do is offer maybe some add-ons for Loud AF, Reviewly to build your MRR. But I want you to stay in that $500 to $2,000 range if you're just getting started because you feel like you can deliver on that value. You'll be comfortable in the offer that you're making, and it keeps the tiers simple. Okay. Make sure that you do like 500, 1,000, 2,000, and you understand what you're going to deliver from there. If you have any questions on those, just DM me or put it in the group. As you guys have noticed that we do respond into the group from there. Okay. These websites, they open the door for you to build recurring revenue. I've actually created some packages that you could potentially use for this as well. Okay. So packages that you can put in when offering foot in the door to recurring revenue type models for yourself. Okay. You want to build the website and then you want to put on some kind of monthly service plan that ties you into potentially becoming their marketing partner. Okay. This allows you to stop being just a fulfillment agency for hours and you can work your way up and ascend the ladder to making a couple $100 a month to even $1,000 a month or more, depending on what you offer. One of the easiest things that you can start with is by doing some hosting and some basic SEO. From there, that talks about local search optimization, work on their rankings. You can tie them into content for $2.99 a month. That's using products like Loud AF that we have in the back office, right? Content remixing and done for you publishing. reviews. That starts at just $99 a month. It's a very easy foot in the door. Maybe you can bundle in some hosting with that as well. A business will not leave you if you're hosting their website, you own their domain name, and you're generating them reviews. You can do this for as low as $99 to $199 a month. Automated review management, reputation building from there. If you combine all of those, you're just under $700 a month, right? By doing all of that. So how many of you put 700 in the chat or put 697 in the chat, right? If you would like to bundle a service where you've offered a website to a client, and in the end, you now are offering them where you're remixing content with Loud AF that's spending maybe 20 minutes a week, hosting that's costing you almost nothing, right, to go in, and then you're offering them a hands-off review generation process. If you'd like to bundle something like that that brings in long-term value, put a 700 in the chat, because I'm just giving you the roadmap right here that's going to get you down that path to making $700 a month per client in a very hands-off, easy to fulfill service package. None of this guarantees them rankings. None of this puts you creating blog content or worrying about long-term SEO or AI SEO or anything that might be too technical for you. You are literally plugging them into hosting, which is what you're going to be doing built in with Lovable, or you can hand it over to the client, let them handle it from there. Content, we give you a tool. We show you a tool in the back office that you can use and subscribe to. Very, very cheap for what you are going to be doing on the value proposition service for reviews. I've had this company for almost 3 years now. I've been in the review space for 10 years, generating reviews for the business. You can package those 3 things together with what you're going to build today, and you now have a $700 a month client from there. Okay. A lot of you guys put in 700 from there. 69, 700 is funny, right? And then somebody just said, is it possible to show your screen in landscape mode? Yeah, you're probably on my mobile live stream. There's 2 that are active right now. One's for mobile devices only, and one is for landscape as well, which would be for desktop. So you're probably just on the wrong stream. Maybe I linked to it. Just check on the YouTube channel. You should be good to go. All right. So that is how you bundle this. Does that make sense to everybody? Give me a yes in the chat if that makes sense to you. I'm going to move to the next slide because I wanted to really lay out the roadmap of how a website opens the door to your next step, which is generating monthly recurring revenue. Yeah, if you're on YouTube, there's 2 channels that are live right now. And you should go ahead and watch that on the other one. You're watching it on the mobile one. That's why you're only seeing it from there. Okay. All right. So let's dive into the next piece of this. Okay. Look, most agencies already know how to find their first 10 opportunities. So a lot of you are saying, hey, Jeff, I've got, 0, 2, 5 clients, right? I know a lot of you put in 0 to 2 early on. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You're getting started. Guess what? At one point, I had 0 subscribers. I had 0 revenue. I had 0 agency clients. Okay. I've served thousands, tens of thousands of small business owners, thousands, 10,000 plus marketing agencies in the last 18 years. I don't even know the numbers. I'm not going to throw it out there. Okay. But I know it's been over 10,000 small businesses and it's been over 10,000 agencies. Okay. Small business one's probably multiple of that. Every single one of you that is starting from the very, very beginning, you actually have 10 prospects available to you right now. Okay. You do not need complicated lead generation systems to make this work. You don't need an ad campaign. You don't need to build a marketing funnel for this to work. Everybody overcomplicates things. The truth here is that you probably already have folks in your own personal network, maybe related to, that you are friends with, that you visit or see on a weekly or daily basis. They're probably right under your nose. Okay. These opportunities are right in front of you. For those of you that have clients, they might be your current clients. Most of you, this might not be relevant to you. Okay. Especially if you're a brand new agency. Existing clients who trust you are the warmest possible lead. Okay. I have upgraded my current clients this year for 5 figures coming in for other additional website projects. We've done, I think, 3 to 5 additional websites from current clients. Sorry, in 2025. We're in 2026 right now. We've done one of our current clients in 2026. Okay. I've had about almost half a dozen upgrades last year. All right. Make sure I don't misspeak on that. I have friends who own businesses. Okay. You might have friends that own businesses. And I am not talking the 10, 20, $50 million a year type businesses. I'm talking the low six-figure businesses, 100,000 to $1 million a year, then maybe the 1 to 5. Okay. These are probably personal connections. Maybe there's a lower barrier to entry of them potentially saying yes to you because you can come in, you say, hey, look, I've been working on some site examples, send them the revision app, send them some examples of what they would look like. Hey, I went to your website for the taco restaurant or your tire repair shop or maybe your practice. And I noticed that some things are outdated. Here's a couple of examples of what your site could look like. If you want to talk about it, let me know. That's it. Low pressure. Okay. Give me a yes in the chat if you know somebody that you could potentially reach out to and just say, hey, look, I can upgrade your website. I need a couple of examples for my Rolodex as case studies, and I'll just do it for you at cost. Okay, cool. What's cost? They're going to probably think $3,500, $4,500. You come in at $500 to $1,500 and be like, yeah, let's do it from there. Okay. It's simple. It's easy. Facebook pages. This one is one of the hidden gems that no one talks about. When I lived in Cabo, a lot of businesses, specifically, and actually even when we traveled, we were in Europe 2 summers ago, it'll be upcoming 3 summers ago, for like 5 or 6 weeks. And a lot of the businesses that we worked with, particularly in Europe or when I lived in Mexico and in Cabo, a lot of the businesses have a Facebook page, and that's how they advertise their business. That's how they build their business, and that's what they're doing. They don't actually have a real website. You can go in to those businesses, and maybe they don't have a budget. Maybe they're a little bit smaller. Maybe it's a barbecue place, or maybe it's a shark diving company or something like that, where they do okay, right? They do maybe a couple $100,000 a year. $500 to $1,000 is right in their wheelhouse. Hey, look, I noticed you guys have a Facebook page. You have a URL that comes here. How would you like a website that really speaks to folks of the quality of service that you offer? I can give you a couple examples from there. Okay. They're running everything off of social media and they don't have a main presence from there. Somebody says, I've seen lots of businesses that send you Facebook because they're as their website. Yes, Janice. Guess what? Those businesses are your opportunity for you to upgrade them. Okay. Now, for those of you that like to do networking, we always talk about the chambers, the Rotary, the networking groups, all those things. From there, B&I groups, Better Business Bureau meetings, local meetups. These are a gold mine for referrals and direct deals. Because if you've got the revision app, we'll talk about that one a little bit tomorrow as the upgrade, you can actually put their URL right there on your mobile device or on your laptop and pull it up and see what they could potentially look like. Or they give you a business card, look up their website right there. It's like, oh, hey, when was the last time you updated your website? Have you thought about making your website or ready for AI SEO or upgrading your website, right? And they're going to start asking you questions from there. Now, I want to be very clear on sales and websites and all this other stuff. I am not promising you, and nor should you expect that every person that has a crappy website is going to want to upgrade. Some of them will have ego, right? Where, oh, well, I built the website, so it's good enough. I built it on Wix, like whatever. Or I've got, whatever from GoDaddy or this, that, and the other thing. Or I'm going to do it myself, right? Just move on from there. Your job is not to convert every person. Your job is to find the ones that are interested, that have shown interest, and that want to upgrade, and they're willing to work for you from there. Take your first 3 to 5, give them the best deal that they're ever going to see from you. Be like, look, I'm looking for 5 case studies now that we're offering websites as part of our agency marketing package. If I can use you as a public case study, I'm going to be willing to give you half off the price of $997. So at $497, we'll build your website over the next 2 weeks for your company. If that sounds good to you, say yes, and we'll get started, right? That's how it works, because you can use technology to prospect quickly. You can also use technology to fulfill quickly. So let's talk about finding leads. Okay. The network and the people that you already have. Leadsly. If you have my app in Leadsly, you can search Google business profiles for folks that do not have a website. You can also search for new businesses and new entities. Those are great. You can use our Alexa home. Sorry, my 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 little AI assistant there on the desk started talking to us. You can also use AI research prompts. Okay, you can use Chat GBT to help create some targeted outreach scripts. I've put some inside of the program for you. You can go through your talking points and you can use proposal copy generation using chats or Claude or Perplexity or Gemini in just minutes. If you're part of our course, I've already given you all of that. It's in the school group. It's all in the back office. So technology helps with the outreach, helps with your prompting. You can use Google Maps scanning, right? I have that inside some of our tools. You can even go to local business directories, or you can go directly into some of these AI assistants and just tell it what you want, and it will help report those back from there. Technology makes everything very quickly. Now, the business types that you should be looking for are ones that you can get quick wins with. Okay. I don't want you to go after everybody, but if you look at these high probability targets, these 5 types of businesses, I would look at these types of categories first. Notice I didn't say doctor, dentist, chiropractor, acupuncture, med spa, tire repair, oil change. No, these are the types of clients. Number 1, current clients. Why? Because they already trust you. We talked about that. Easiest upsell you're going to have. Friends with businesses. Okay. Minimal sales resistance, not zero ever, but obviously friends, family, right? That's that list that you always make of when you start new opportunities. From there, another one that I think is very valuable. They have great reviews, but they have a terrible website. What does that mean? You look at their website, it's outdated, the color scheme's off, it just doesn't look like it was built after 2005 or 2010, right? You can go in there, you can upgrade it. If it's not mobile optimized, oh man, there you go, right there. Facebook businesses with no real site. Janice says she sees a ton of, I've seen them definitely outside the US, right? Lots of companies, businesses from there, or businesses that you already visit, you have a rapport with. Gym, dentist, restaurants, tire repair shops, those things from there. If you are already a customer and you're in there, just easily have the conversation for those next steps. Now, I want you to be ready to get a win. So I'm going to show you how you can get your first win today. This is my simple 10-minute agency test to walk you guys through everything. Okay. Step number one. Okay. You don't need any tools. You don't need a pitch deck, and you don't need any prior relationship. All you need is about 10 minutes. You can do this right after this training. Go into Maps, Google Maps, pick your city or a neighboring city and service keyword. Okay. Go visit 5 local business websites. And I want you to look for the specific couple of key things that we've talked about. Look for their overall design. Does it look like it's relatively current? Does it work on mobile? Right? So all you got to do to make sure it works on mobile is take your browser, make it smaller on your screen, or just type that in on your mobile phone. Do they have call to actions, right? Do they have quote buttons? What is their call to action? Does it make sense for the type of business they have? Do they have any trust indicators on their site? That's huge for AI SEO. That's huge for taking those next steps as you guys get in. And then think about how you're going to outreach, right? Do they have an email? Do they have a phone number? Do they have social media accounts linked to it? And then figure out which is the best way for you to prospect and get ready to just reach out and pitch from there. Cool. And then a bunch of you guys on the private chat said, bundle baby, 700s, yeses. I got to, oh, hell yeah, from Chuck. So awesome for you guys that are in the background. Okay. I think one of the best businesses to go after are ones that have good Google reviews and they have a bad website. That should be your number one target because they've proven that they actually have demand. They're trying hard to be seen online. And if they do not have a great digital front door, either they're using Facebook or they do not have a updated website, it's easy. That's your pitch. Hey, look, I noticed you guys have great reviews, but the website doesn't match the quality of reviews that are coming in. You're probably leaking or losing leads daily. Would you like me to show you how we could fix that? That's it. That's simple. As a matter of fact, I've given you a Loom script inside of the training to walk through this 3-minute website audit. Number one, look to see if they are optimized on mobile. Now, for those of you that have been doing websites for a long time, this might sound a little outdated, right? Where you're like, well, Jeff, like mobile websites have been around for 10, 15 years. You would be surprised the number of businesses that are not mobile optimized. Okay. Some of the new builders and things like that work great, right? Even WordPress, you can actually have a non-mobile optimized website. Okay. Trust. Point out missing reviews, not on their website. Credentials. Now we're getting into a little bit more of the SEO, AI SEO upgrade type stuff. But if they don't have team photos, they don't have testimonials, they don't answer common questions about the business. What do I mean by that? Okay. What I mean a trust problem, if I'm going to your company with a specific issue or problem, do you answer that problem? Is it written in a way for AI and myself to understand it and read it and go from there? And then if I'm looking at that, do they have FAQs? Do they talk about who runs the business? They talk about their background of the business, because in the new search in 2026, a lot of it boils down to, is this business trustable, right? Can I trust this business? Okay. Next up, the conversion problem. Look to see if there's a great call to action, an easy way to book or call them, or if there's any sort of urgency or incentive for them to tap to call or book or whatever that call to action should be. Or does it just basically leave them as a landing page wondering what to do next from there? That is a quick and simple 3-page website, 3-minute website audit that you can do. Now, the really cool part about the last 18 months is that AI can now build websites in minutes. I actually built a massive website. I want to say massive. It's probably 20 pages or more. So for a lot of you, that could be massive, in about 20, 30 minutes 2 weeks ago. Okay. Using Lovable. And like I said earlier in the presentation and going through everything, Lovable is one of the tools. There are other ones out there. There's Replit, there's Base 44, and there's a couple other ones that you can use, right? And there's going to be more coming online. You can actually go through and build a website without all the revisions and do all the complicated stuff that would take weeks, days, you finding an outsourcer, hiring somebody on Upwork. That was actually the highest risk part of building websites a while ago. Like even just as much as, a year ago, going out there and having to go find a contractor, whether they are in Europe or Latin America or Asia, and like in the Philippines or something like that, and then hoping that they actually did the job and you weren't losing money on hourly. Now, if you have 0 clients, 1 client, 2 client, 3 client, right? And you're bringing in a new website client, why not do it yourself and make all the money yourself on this using AI? Because it's not about replacing your creative skills of who you are, what you're doing. It's about multiplying the output and accelerating the time path with this. You can actually deliver a professional, conversion optimized, clean website in a fraction of the time that'll take anybody else, okay, to go out there and do it, because you're using and leveraging AI. So what I want to do is I want to build one live, okay? I'm going to go inside my Lovable account. You guys are willing to comment, or you're welcome to comment and leave me, some advice and not some advice, some questions or some inputs of how we get going from here, because here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you, actually, we'll do the agency website first. I'm going to show you a couple of examples of the agency website. I'm going to show you how we can do it. We'll talk about a small business website after that, because as an agency, you need to have some credibility for yourself as well. Again, it doesn't need to be ranking as best SEO agency in whatever your town is or anything like that. You need to be offering a site that has exactly who you are, what your brand is and how you can take the next step of working with you as an agency if I'm a prospect and what I need to do to be able to make that happen from there. So we're going to go through and we're going to show you guys some of that. Okay. And we're going to walk you through. So let's go ahead. I'm actually going to move this out of the way. And you guys should be able to see my screen, which is going to be me off the screen and then the school group. Okay. So you've got the school group. You got a couple of comments that are coming in as well. Does CTA need to be on every page? It does not, Janice. You can actually ask Lovable, like, hey, how many, is this too many CTAs for what we've got? Call to action is what a CTA is if somebody's newer from here. So let's go into Lovable. Actually, I'm going to give you guys a link if you're on here. This is actually my account, and it's actually going to be inside of, okay, I'm going to put it in here right now. Add resource link, my Lovable designs. Put it in there for you guys. There you go. Boom. It's added. It's saved. So you can see how easy school is for me to help expedite this. You can go to My Lovable Designs inside the classroom under Site Spark Agency from there. And then Barb asked a great question. She said, Jeff, how many credits are you blowing through on Lovable monthly? So it depends. I was playing around and doing a couple apps over the last week. I actually am on like a $54 a month plan. I showed that from there. I was on a $200 a month plan a couple months ago when we were doing a lot. I actually have 2 or 3 other folks that are in my account sharing this with me that work for me or that are kind of building things in. I mean, for $50 a month, I'm very rarely ever maxing out those credits. Their prices have gone up recently, every couple of months, but and I think it was Lucius that asked me last night or earlier, like, what plan do I get? Lovable actually lets you start out with a free plan. Okay. And then with that free plan, they'll tell you what to upgrade to from there. I think it's 20 or $40 a month is the lowest plan. I used to have a $20 a month plan. And that, so many revisions and credits and things like that, but that's all you really need to get started from there. And if, you can't afford $50 a month, you can get the free one, get your first client, and then bundle in. Let me make sure I'm clear on this. If for some reason, like $50 a month is outside of your range, here's a great way to get started. Okay. You can use the free account. Sorry, my throat's a little dry here. My apologies. Use your free account to get started. Get your first client in the door. And then part of the monthly service is charging them $99 a month for that, plus maybe some other service that you can use or offer for the setup of this. And then you host it, and then they are covering your costs. I actually do this a lot with clients. If we're starting new projects or things like that, is we actually charge them either equal or a profit to of what it would be able to use. And then we mark it up appropriately so that we can use it as well, or they help cover that cost. Okay. So that's if like, 20 to $50 a month is outside of your range. You could also transfer it to their account, right? And you can actually put it inside of their Lovable account and then make them host it from there. But I would just recommend having control over it from there. And then somebody just said, I redid my outdated site for free last Sunday when Lovable was free credits all day. Yeah, actually, Lovable does that once in a while. And one of my friends, Dave California, tells it yes all the time. He's like, Lovable is free today. I'm like, great. I'm out with the family. I'm doing go-kart racing or I'm watching a movie. But they do that a lot where they'll pick a holiday or like a certain day of the week or a day of the quarter, and they'll basically make their app free all day. And those are the days you can get in there. You can really do some work and some damage to the credits. But you don't know. I don't know when it's coming. I don't know if they have a schedule or anything. I don't pay that much attention to it, but they do it once in a while. So you could potentially do that. Okay. So that's one of the big things. You want to go to My Lovable Designs, go in, and then you're going to see my designs here. And a couple of things that you're going to see. Okay. You got our Review Rush landers. These are kind of our landing sites for us for what we're using for Google Business Profiles. To generate reviews on those Google Business Profiles for our Reviewly program. This is a lander. I'm actually using it. We're driving traffic to it. And it's something that you guys can use as well. And there's 2 different versions of it. You can see that like we edited this as recent as last week. From there, and you have your own agency site as well. And then actually, let me look at my starred ones. These are the ones that are actually starred. For me, I've actually created this site about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. It was like basically on Friday. From here, and then I've got my agency template. So actually, these are the ones that we're going to show you today. Big picture wise, I've actually gone through and shown this Review Rush program template before. You can use this as a lander. This could serve as an agency website, but it's not going to sell websites for you. Okay. What I'm going to show you right now is our review agency site, right? So if you go in and you go underneath what's been created by me and you see this inside of my owner account, and I'm in the account, so you can see that I've got this. This is sitting here, our review agency website. I'm going to show you guys how to make this your own. So it's not just going to be just Reviewly, but we're going to I'm going to open this from here. And actually what you want to do is you want to remix it, right? So I'm going to go through what a remix is. In this case, let me go ahead and close that out so I don't accidentally do anything. I'm going to go through. I'm actually going to remix it. So there's a button in here that says remix. Okay. That remix button, what that stands for is I'm making a clone of the website. Okay. This transfer button, somebody asked me like, hey, how do I give this to a client? You can actually transfer it to somebody else's workspace. From there, and we're not going to go too far into the settings, but this is what it looks like. Okay. So I'm actually going to make a remix of this. So we're going to go demo live review agency. Okay. So now I'm not going to include my project history, but if you want to, you can actually see everything that's been said in all the prompts. From here, I'm going to click on remix. I'm actually going to go ahead and let this create the remix. It's going to start to remix my project in just a few moments. We're going to get our own product and our own login. That's going to allow us to then edit the site. And we're going to edit our own agency website. You can see that I've got demo live review agency is in the top left. This is obviously talking about more 5-star Google reviews in just 90 seconds. This is a clone of my Reviewly website. Okay, this is a agency version that you can create yourself. Now, this does not work for you as is with actually going in and repurposing this for yourself as a web design agency. Okay, so here's how simple it is to go through. A couple things for the ideas. Look at this on the left-hand side. On the left-hand side here, this landing page and chat on the left-hand side, the Lovable chat is telling you what you should probably do. You should probably add a footer, add your legal pages, connect a back end, add a pricing section for your plans, maybe improve your mobile navigation with a hamburger menu, and add some SEO metadata. Could you guys follow a checklist, yes or no, that AI gives you on the left-hand side in the chat in Lovable to just basically click buttons and add a footer section, improve your navigation right from here? This is very simple. It actually tells you this was not available months ago. AI has improved drastically. So you can actually go in here and you do not need to be a website expert. It's actually going to give you prompts. What interests you the most? So now I can go in. Somebody just said, awesome. Yes. Right. So I can go in and I can tell it to do each one of those. Okay. I can go in, I can do a visual edit, and that's going to put a live visualization. I can click on, it's going to take about 10 or 15 seconds. I can click on visual aspects of this. This is an H1 tag. This is my paragraph. This is my font right here, right? I can copy this and say, all right, change this font to whatever, change this text to whatever. I can put a link to this button right in here, right? But what I normally can do is I can actually just prompt it and text it. So, this site is great, but I need content for a for my agency's I can't even type right now. For my agencies, website design. Programs. So I call it programs right now. I call it offers. Offers that vary from 500 to, I'll call it, 1,000 to 2,000. I need a header menu and some content for that page, right? Pretty simple. So this is how simple it could be. Okay, I'm going to show you some advanced stuff in a second, or not advanced stuff, so the way that I would do it from here. But that is all I'm going to do. I'm just going to put that into the prompt for you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through. I'm going to actually pull up my chat GBT. Okay, and if you can see here, I can open up a new chat, and I've got projects and stuff like that inside of my chat GBT. But what I would normally do is, I would actually go in and I can't do it live in front of you guys because it requires me opening up Zoom. So what I did in my own website, and let me go see if I can pull this up. I should have it in here. Can't see conversation control. Let's see if I actually have it. I don't think I have it saved in here, unfortunately. Okay. So what I would do is I would actually go open and I would go find, actually, I'm going to go while it's doing this. You can see it's updating over here. I'm going to make myself a little bit bigger. I'm going to make me pop up on the screen here. So while it's working, I want to talk to you about, you can see it's created the web design page and here. I'll show you what it's doing here in just a second. You can see it actually put up in the top right, web design, but we'll get to that here in a second. Okay. So it's actually finished it in about, 2 minutes or so. Pretty clean, pretty simple. But what I want to talk to you guys about is how I actually did this for my own agency. What I did was I went out and I found competitors in my market that weren't like local to me. And some of mine are national. Okay. So I found a couple of national, bigger agencies that I'm going after and I'm competing with. Actually, I've taken clients from them. And we are framing ourselves as a boutique lead demand agency. Okay. I'm going to show you guys that website here in just a little bit. So take that unique lead demand agency, and I'm going to basically go into Zoom. Okay. And you don't need to turn your camera on. I didn't have my camera on, but I need it to be recording because what it's going to do is I'm going to start talking and I'm just going to go, hey, chat, here's what we're doing. I'm going to give you a couple of web pages. And across my browser, I have all of my competitors' pages up that I want to discuss. And then I've actually taken the URLs of each of those competitor pages. And what I did from there was go, hey, chat, here's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to rebuild my agency website. Here's my primary offer. And I talk about it. Here's what we do. Here's who we are. All those information. I take some notes. I talk about those. And then as I'm looking at the pages, hey, look, I'm going to send you a link to the web design page or to their PPC page, or I'm going to send you the link to the SEO page. A couple of key aspects that I liked on this page are X, Y, and Z. I'm going to give you the URL from there. And then my recording was about, 10 to 20 minutes. It can be 2 to 5 minutes for you. It doesn't matter. What I did was I then took the transcript from that Zoom call that I did with myself. No one else was on, just a hot microphone, no video. I didn't even show Zoom the screen. It was just me recording it. Okay. And then I put it into chat. And when I put it into chat, I then put it into chat GBT. And from there, actually, I think it might be in here. Yep. Boutique agency build out plan. So I just remember where it was. I put it into chat. Okay. This is a massive website. Okay. So I put it into chat and I basically told it what I wanted to do. I gave it all the URLs. Okay. So here's the video recording from March 6th. This was 10 days ago that I did this. Okay. Just talking about everything that I did. And then you'll see that I actually put in different web design agency sites, and you can see all the different messaging. And then chat starts talking to me. Hey, there's a great strategic brief. Here's what we recorded is the foundation for a premium agency website. And you need a Lovable build strategy, right? Because I told it I was going to be using Lovable from there. And it just started giving me all this information. Okay. And then what I did was I told it now that it gave me the output that I wanted. What I did was I told it, give me an output I can put directly into Lovable from there. I pasted that in the Lovable, walked away. 15 minutes later, it still wasn't done. 20 minutes later, I came back. My website was just sitting there. I'm going to show you what it made me in a little bit. So for those of you guys that are looking to create your own website, could you talk into chat or could you talk into Zoom? Go find some competitors' URLs, give it as examples of what you like, and then work with that output. Give me a yes or a no in their chat. Okay. That's one of the things that give me a yes or no in the chat, right? Whether it be a private chat or the public chat from there. Because what I did here was you can see that chat went out and created me a web design page under a web design URL, 3 different pricing tiers from there. And then it added the actual footer from there. Okay. Or sorry, add the menu item. Okay. From here. Now I could also, you guys, I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh, actually my head's in the way. It says test the web design page, add mobile hamburger menu, add a quote request form, add a portfolio section. So you can add all of this in here, right? So chat is prompting you to keep moving your website down the path. There's a point where it just keeps doing the test only and it kind of thinks it's done at that point. Okay. So in this case, let me go ahead and we'll just put myself back down there. I've got the web design section from here. Let me zoom back out so you guys can see everything. So now it created, and you guys and gals on this saw, this is the only prompt that I gave chat. Okay. Website design that converts, stunning landing pages to full e-commerce. I didn't even go into Chat GPT. I actually only put it in Lovable. Okay. It actually helped you build your own offer from here. It tells 5 pages, mobile design, basic SEO, 1 round of revisions, 2 weeks delivery, $500. That's a pretty powerful offer. Most popular, a couple more pages, up to 10 pages, 3-week delivery, 3 rounds of revisions, setting up Google Analytics, social media integration, CMS, customer management systems from there. Okay. 2,000 more pages, some different functionalities, unlimited revisions, priority support for the first 60 days. You can go in here. I can go visual edits and I can adjust each of these individually if I wanted to. I can just tell chat. I've actually taken snapshots and put arrows and I can go in there and say, hey, look, chat, I want to change this to say this and that to say that. I can just dump the image in here and just say, hey, change these arrows from there. It will change them, right? It's that simple. Now, the rest of the page, let's see what the page looks like all together. Okay, we're in chat. This is what your new page would look like with that 1 paragraph prompt. This would take you hours to edit in WordPress, right? For a lot of you, you probably would just give up or figure out. Could this be a page that you could use on your own agency website from there? Give me a yes or a no in the chat. Now, while you guys are doing that, it takes a couple seconds to come up. I'll take a sip of water here and let you know that when your site is ready to go live, this is just prompting, right? You can click on test the web design page, add mobile hamburger menu, make this website mobile optimized, right? What you could even type in, what are the steps that I need to do to complete this site to make it fully ready, right? Is there any SEO I need to do on the site? You can ask it all of those questions and it will help you build it from there. Okay. Now, when you're ready to publish this website, you can click on this and see what it looks like if it's mobile optimized. It's a little trick right there, right? You can see what it looks like. Looks pretty good to me here. But if I want to publish that site, you can choose your own URL. Okay. Right. You can put that in there and then click on X. If I want to continue, I can add a custom domain. From here, I can make it public. Looks like for some reason, I don't have the ability to add a custom domain right now. I can click on this and make it continue. I can put in what my icon, my title is for those from the SEO stuff from here. description, it will actually set this up. You can put your own social image. The site, you can set all of those. Continue. And then we're missing some of the websites from here. I can then publish this page as we get in. Okay. So I'll publish this page. It'll go live here in just a second. This is just an example as we get in. Once it goes live from here, I can also go back. I can see what my website traffic looks like, right? I can go in, you can see all of, this is obviously start a free trial. You can connect all of these buttons and now you have an agency website. Okay. Quick. It's simple. It's clean. Could you guys use this and set this up? Are you confident, right? Actually on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being you're not confident at all, actually 0 to 5. 0 means you have zero confidence that you can do this. 5 means that you could mimic what I just showed you, okay, and do this on your own, right? So now I've got a live website that I can share. I can view in the app. For some reason, I don't have custom domains. Maybe I ran out or something happened. Oh, there you go. Add a custom domain right here. So I've made my site live from here. So now you've got essentially a Lovable project, right? Because it's on Lovable's app. So a couple key things that I want you to remember. I can go here, okay? I can go to settings. And then when you go to settings, one of the big key things that I want you to know is hide Lovable badge, right? If you're not telling customers or people that you're using Lovable, just hide the Lovable badge. I think that's a paid upgrade. From here, you can name it. You got all these things are just fill in the blanks, okay? From here, I'm going to go back. I'm hiding the Lovable page. Can I build a landing page on Lovable? Put the link on my website? Yes, absolutely, Janice, you can. Or what you could do is I could actually go in and I can add a custom domain right here. So I can purchase a new domain directly through Lovable and hide the fact, right, and mask that I'm using Lovable on this domain. Or I still use GoDaddy a lot because I had a friend that used to work there, so we got discounts on the domains. I can use Sentry is what it's called, or it's Connectory or something like that, and it allows you to connect the domain. You just put in the URL, it will go find who hosts it, it will connect it, and you want to do any of the DNS or the propagations, you connect the domain and it's live from there in minutes. Now, your web address is not going to be whatever this is, Lovable dot, whatever. Hold on, let me go show you what it would be. It's not going to be your preview, right? So it's not going to be this domain right here. It's not going to be Reviewly AI boost.lovable.app. It's going to be, jeffsagency.com when I connect that domain using the custom domain functionality right up here, right? So you click through, you click on custom domain. You can use buy new domain right here, or you can use connect domain. To hide Lovable, you just go to the project settings and you just toggle that on or off. Pretty quick, clean, and simple from there. So merely put a 4, couple 4s, 5s, and 6s. If you're a 4, right? If you're not a 4, if you're not a 5 or a 6, like Rex or some of the other folks, hey, once you do it the first time, you can do it for free on Lovable. You'll be able to go up and running and set it up for yourself. The number one thing you need to do is you can use my example template or use how I actually went out and built my own website. I'm going to show you that right now, show you what it looks like. I'm going to show you some of the prompts that I use. So this is our branding site as well. So that's not what it was supposed to show you. It's supposed to show you the dashboard. That's a secret bonus I'm giving you guys today from there. So in here, this is they named it Apex Growth Collective. That's not the name of my website. It's going to be under our response engine brand. Okay. So when I tell you that we went out and we created a website with that prompt that I showed you in here, I literally walked through my own chat and it did all these different pages. I told it what I wanted to do, right? I just had a conversation with ChatGPT, okay, from here. And then I told it how I wanted to position this page, what my offers were and things like that. I created some extra blocks. Then I told it I need a page about me, all about me and my agency because it's my ChatGPT, right? All I did was I took the prompt that it gave me, which is this one right here. Everything is copy paste ready. I copied it. I put it right into my initial prompt right here. It says build a high-end boutique agency. Here's the people that I'm looking at. Here's, primary services that we have. Okay. It thought and it went out and created everything in about 324 to 334. So in 10 minutes, it actually created me my site. I thought it took 20, it took 10 minutes. Okay. The site that created me was pretty dang close. This is not live yet. I just haven't had time to get to it. But if you guys can see, actually, I'm going to go through. I'm going to open it up on the page for you guys. So you can see here, you got Response Engine is the name of the site. It's an AI-driven marketing agency, produces measurable growth. Some of the data before tax, some of the things that we put in here, we're basically selling anti-bigger agencies. So this is a larger website. I'm going after larger clients. Okay. From here, this is everything about my business and my agency, right? You see all of this stuff. And some of these numbers and stuff aren't real. They're still, this is the stuff I need to go through. It also built me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different offer pages based on what I told it I needed in there. SEO helps solve all of that. The industry that we're in, one of the big ones that we're in for industries, SaaS is another one, right? It talks a little bit about that. I think the font's a little too small here. We talk about that. Technology. This is actually ties into, it might be replacing the domain for responseengine.com. That's why this is in here. From here, it built this. It even built my About Me page in under an hour, right? By the time I went back and forth and did everything, in under an hour, I built 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 12, 13, 14 page. So like almost like a 15-page website in under an hour, right? This is quick and simple, easy, great layout for what I'm looking to do and match some of the building and the brand of what we set up. All I did to build my website was go out there and have a conversation with Lovable and with chat, tell it what I wanted, and then put it into a prompt, let it give me the initial setup. And then now what I need to do is I have to go page by page and look at the website and make the adjustments from there. And that's it. You can even make a Zoom recording, talk into the Zoom or chat, and just paste that conversation into Lovable, and you can edit this. You can do this for your site, for your own self. I want to show you guys that we are actually using this for our own agency as well. Now, in addition to this, for you, these are all my projects. I actually created a site, which is a branding site. I've sold a lot of these, well, not a lot, a handful of these. I want to be careful not to say a lot because that could be associated with, I've sold a handful of these last year for AI SEO. Okay. This is the meetjeffshort.com, or this is the just jeffhershey.com type site. Now it's actually not on this domain, but let's say I've got a name, I've got a brand, I've got a client that I want to talk about, that if we're going to do AI SEO, we're going to do some branding, or they just want like a realtor, their own page about them. You could do meetalexmorgan.com. I had it pull out all my clients' information from there. I actually set this up for an agency. Okay. So this right here, we're using for our clients as an additional add-on or bonus site. We go in, we interview them, or we get some basic information off of their page. And you can just put that in here of like who you are, what you do, or who they are, what they do. It's like a bio or a publisher page, a published page for like a bio or an author. You can also set it up for yourself where it could be about you and your marketing agency. I guess this Alex Morgan now owns Nova Marketing and they're CEO, right? A little bit about them, areas of expertise. What does this do? This builds authority. It builds a brand. It's got a URL tied to the name of the individual. So let's say that you have a common name like John Smith, right? It could be meetjohnsmith.com or allaboutjohnsmith.com. And you can go in, you can build this page, have it fill in your information from here. And then everything I just showed you with going through Lovable and using just the prompting on the left-hand side, you can click with the visual edits from here. You can even talk to it, right? In voice mode, or you can enter a plan mode. That's where you're like kind of planning with chat as you go in. Actually, you guys probably can't see that, so let me make myself smaller. So on the down, so I'm going to get rid of the visual edits from here. So you can go in the bottom left. It's actually starting the preview mode because I clicked on visual edits. You can highlight certain sections, right? You can tell it in that section what to do. Okay. You can enter in planning mode. That's like an AI planning mode. You can kind of talk to it, tell it what you do. It'll go back and forth with you with chat. So when you enter planning mode, this actually, it changed slightly from about a month ago. It actually used to say like AI or chat or something like that in the box. If you go to the bottom left here, this will have a conversation with you, just like ChatGPT. And then you can implement a strategy or plan and then tell it to enable or to execute that plan. So you can might potentially even skip using ChatGPT altogether and just use that, or you can even use voice mode from there and it'll just listen to you. Oh, don't want to do that because I'm live on the call. Okay. From there. So a couple things you can do to just edit this and set it up to make it work for yourself. Now, if I was building a page that I wanted to go in and I wanted to go in and create a new website from my dashboard. So what I would do, let's say that my client has a Facebook page. I can go and find their business and their page. I can link to their Facebook page in here. So, I need a 4-page website for a barbecue restaurant in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, right? And I can just basically prompt it and tell it everything that I need from there. Okay. A couple of questions that came in. Well, actually, I'm just going to tell it to build this. Let's see what it gives us from here, right? You can go in and you can pull all their images. You can upload from here. It's going to start prompting. So let me go ahead and I'm actually, while it does this, I'm going to pull up what you guys have questions wise. All right. So somebody just said so much easier. I pushed my site to GitHub and then hosting for free on Vercel, the domain stuff there. Yeah, that works too, Barb. But for some folks, that's too complicated or they're not even sure what you just said, right? From here, and you can see that chat's already working to give me a plan. It actually built out a page from here. And then Amelia asked for the booking call, does that link to Lovable hosted calendar or something else? I would actually use something like a high level. I would use something like a Calendly or something like that. And you can just link to it and you can attach the link to the button to go wherever you want from there. Totally up to you. You can use Google Calendar and that as well to have them book with you, or have it just like I did with some of the examples. It actually opens up an email and just sends an email, right? That's what I do for one of my client sites from there. And then someone says, for your own website, did you let it choose the technology stack or did you tell it what components to use in your technology stack? So for our websites, I just actually let it build it as an example from there. And we start doing apps and things like that. It starts suggesting things. But remember, this course is for the brand new folks that are out there. So you can keep everything on Lovable, host it on Lovable. Lovable actually will say, hey, look, if you want to activate the Lovable cloud or some other functionality, you can. We recommend it for this from there. And then in the left-hand side menu, it will prompt you to test things and check things out. And then before you're done, what I would recommend is that, go ahead and close it out. It's still building your site. So what I would recommend is that before you're done, ask it, is there anything I need to do to check to make sure that this website works as planned from there? So that's what I would do in that case. And then you said, if you request SEO optimize, does Lovable allow you to SEO enhance your website? Great question, Rex. Rex, that's actually in the Facebook, not the Facebook group, in the school group. Somebody mentioned that the other day and actually dropped the link to that. I can put it in the classroom as well if you guys need it, but I think it was in here. Where is it? Let me just pull it up here. Tons of social proof. You guys all wanted this. Here it is, right here. This is the doc. And actually, I'll put it in the classroom for you as well. So Rex, this is actually going to be in the classroom for you. I need to update this card. I don't like that. So let's go ahead and edit, add, resource link, SEO with Lovable. Okay. Right. And this is only going to change constantly. So now that's in there. So you can learn how to do SEO with Lovable, Rex, for that. So now, how did this work for doing an overall website. It's still building it out. It's designing the systems. It actually called it my Fuego and Humo website. It's live. It's 4 pages. It's got a home page, a menu page, an about us, and a contact page. It's telling me a little bit about what it's set up. I can publish my app from here. Look at that. Put me right on the beach here. You heard the little like boop section. And then I'm going to go in. That little noise is always a good noise. Look, I can test the full site end to end, add scrolling animations, add photo gallery, add Google Map to a contact page. Would this help you gain confidence to build the site with chat actually going in here and telling you these are the things that I recommend that you do, right? Inside of Lovable. Somebody just said thank you. Cool, Rex, you're welcome. This site got built in, I don't know, 5 minutes or so for each and every one of you. It created a fake menu page, right? This is all fake, right? I could feed it real information and go through. Okay. I can do an about page, right? A little bit about their story. That actually almost looks like Cabo from there. A contact page, right? And this actually looks like, I was thinking like a small little barbecue place on the side of the road. This looks like it's a fancy 5-star type restaurant, expensive from here. Tell you right now, that's in pesos. That's not, it actually did the conversion and put it in Mexican pesos, not in US dollars. Those prices are probably a little too cheap for a 5-star restaurant. It's closer, right? From here. And then somebody just said it with the free Lovable, is there a limit? So it's usually the number of edits. But Janice, if you're building those sites out and you're charging $500 to $1,500, you shouldn't have to worry about it. Somebody just said this is awesome, right? That's how simple this is. Now, I can go in and create a reel. It actually gave me a fake address in Cabo, a fake phone number. Like, all you have to do now is go in and say, hey, look, we built you an example site. Fill in the blanks from here, right? I'm hungry now. That looks really good. Okay. That is how to build a site with Lovable from there. Pretty clean, pretty quick, and set up. Somebody just said, to be sure, they just want hosting after the website build. How much would you suggest charging? So if they want just hosting, somewhere between 20 and 50 bucks a month, depending on revision, stuff like that. 20 bucks a month is fair. That's what most companies charge. And it's just hands off, and you can just host it for them. Or what you could do, right? So make sure that obviously you go into settings here and you can turn off the hide a Lovable badge from there, right? You can also, once you publish the site, you can transfer it to somebody else, right? So you can remix. I can't transfer it yet because it's not live, but I can actually transfer this to them and they can host it on their own as well. So you have that capability to be able to do that as well. So, and if you guys have a client that wants to do that, just DM me and I can show you afterwards from there. But obviously we didn't publish this. I showed you how to buy a domain from there. Okay. Pretty clean, pretty simple, very easy. We built an agency website. We built a small business website. I showed you how to build an author authority, writer type website from there as well. And you guys could have done this. You could set up in your tab, but you can do this on your own as we go through. Now, I want you to understand that like the action plan here for each and every one of you is that your first website deal could happen this week. Okay. We talked about this on the training as we go in. Find 5 bad websites. You can go out right now after this call. You can do this within the next 24 hours. Find 5 bad websites. Use Google Maps, see the locations, look for sites that have good reviews or they don't look like they're outdated from there. I've given you the script inside of the course on how to do a Loom audit. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes to do that walkthrough. Okay. You have the script. It's very simple. Okay. Send those videos to do email, a DM outreach, send a little personal note, right? From there, offer them to show them the upgrade. Now, we talked about the revision app is step 2 or step 1 in the OTOs, right? Tomorrow's call is going to be about how to use that app and make it yourself from there. So offer them a 15-minute call to have the demo. okay, to walk them through. In the marketing pack that like 95% of you bought in the original order bump from there, like literally like 95% of you bought it, was a sales deck that walks you through how to actually have the conversation with the individual and then show them what their examples look like. And then just having 5 to 10 conversations that you can start in the next 24 hours could get you your first deal this week from there. Janice asked a great question. Can Leadsly help find those websites? Yes, Janice, absolutely. They can, right? And then Anna said, if a month later the client wants revisions, you can just make changes and hit publish again. Yes, you can edit those sites as many times as you want. Janice, when they do that, what you can do is part of that $700 a month package, offer them updates and revisions up to 1 to 2 hours a month. We all know it'll take you 15 minutes and you'll just go in there and put the inputs that you want in the Lovable and push the button, right? But the value that you provide by being able to do that and doing it on behalf as a marketer, as a consultant for that business is why you can charge that, because they're not going to go in and do those edits from there as you get set up. And then, yep, we already talked about if they want just hosting set up. And then would a visual edit versus prompting save us credits in Lovable? I don't think so. I wouldn't know. You have to go look at Lovable's credit. I don't worry about it in that way, any shape or form in that direction from there. So that's it. That's how to go in, create your own agency website, how I do it, how I edit. There is no magic to this that you can't personally do yourself. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question before we wrap this up. And if you have any other questions yourself, put them into the chat. Okay. And there's 3 in the private chat. So I'll go check you guys real quick. Based on what we just covered in the last 90 minutes. Okay. Could you do this yourself? Give me a yes or a no. Did this training give you the confidence that you can go and use Lovable and create your own agency website, starting with my templates, starting with what we walked you through on how to do that from there? I want to make sure that I get yeses, or if you have a no, that I can answer that right now. Okay. Got yes, of course. My issue, I want the site on my domain, not Lovable. Yep, Mark, I showed you how to do that. And then Ken put in a yes in the private chat as well. All yeses so far, which is great. But give me a yes or a no in the chat. We got about 2 minutes before we wrap this up, or if we get questions from there. Okay. Yes, I'll review this again for any missed steps, but I can do this. Awesome. Now, if you're watching this and you see this from the future, if you want in on our group, the community that was part of this, go to agencystarterkit.com. This is a paid program that all the links and all the stuff that I showed inside of this training are available to the members of this community as part of a paid program that they got into from there. It's at agencystarterkit.com. It's a beginner-friendly system. I show you how to build your own AI-powered agency, doing trainings like we did right here. So we're going to go back to the comments. Got one more comment that came in. I got a yes. I got a yes. Got yes. I got a yes. And then I got a yes. I'll review this again for any missteps from there. Those are all the questions that I have. If you guys have any questions in the future, support at jeffhershey.com will actually help you take the next step to move forward and get started. Okay. You can do this today. Go find a friend, a company that you work with, somebody in your network, find 5 bad business websites, record a quick little Loom audit, use the revision app, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to be in the program to know, right? If you know, you know. We're going to do that live training tomorrow and how to customize it for yourself, doing a little vibe coding. Okay. Send the videos out, offer to show them how the website can look in an upgrade, and then close that deal. You can easily close a $500 to $2,000 sale like that with somebody that you know by showing them an example. Hell, go out there and just make an example site, pull in their URLs, show the examples, and tell Lovable, this is the website I'm looking to refresh. Give me an upgraded current website from there. That's all you need to do. The training tomorrow, Janice, is an hour later than today. So it's actually in about 23 and a half hours. It's 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific, because I had some overlap. on my schedule. It'll be about actually probably about an hour. It'll be a little less than today's call from there. Okay. Looks like no other questions. Everybody's happy. We got everything set up the way we needed to with SiteSpark to walk you through to be able to get this up and running. If you guys have any questions, support@jeffhershey.com is where to go. And if you are watching this and you're new, go to agencystarterkit.com. I appreciate each and every one of you guys and gals that join us. I'll get the replay up in the members area as soon as it goes live to YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being part of this program. Not really a issue or snafu with the private chat versus the folks that were on StreamYard versus watching it on YouTube. I'm going to work to kind of make that better. We are transitioning away from GoToWebinar and Zoom for our trainings and things like that. But it looks like this worked out well for everything that we had from there. Janice said great training, which is awesome. Thank you for that, Janice. And then I'll see each and every one of you that grabbed the OTO with the revision app on how to be a vibe coder, how to set it up. From there, Rex says much appreciated. Rex, I appreciate that. Appreciate each and every one of you guys and gals from there. With that being said, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel right now. If you are not part of the group, go to agencystarterkit.com. It's free to join as of this recording. The training that you saw is a paid training. All the links, all the upgrades, all the stuff are in there for those members inside of the group. Other than that, I'm Jeff Hershey, and I will see you all tomorrow or on the next live stream. Take care.